Hello everyone and welcome to Quality Games. Today we are making a short guide to Berber faction in Rome Total War Barbarian Invasion, and let's begin by checking their campaign goals. So they need to hold 10 settlements, including Carthage and Alexandria. So basically they need to control this city here and this city here. And of course it makes rather logical choices to capture Kyrene and Lepkismanga at the same go as you push through the northern Africa towards Alexandria. And of course that puts you only at 6 cities since you begin with only 2, so you need to look over the southern half of Europe or southernmost part of Europe for some additional settlements, for example Cordoba, Carthago Nova. Perhaps you want to push further in Spain, or then there is Caroli, Syracuse, perhaps Tarentum, Athens, Kydonia, perhaps even Salamis, or if you want to push to Middle East, then there are some settlements here. But the number of required cities is not too great, so that's kind of makes it easier for Berbers. However, if you check your settlements and starting armies, you have only 2 settlements, and these 9 units are exactly your starting army. And in addition to those, you can recruit mercenaries. Unfortunately, only 2 units at the beginning of the game, and the mercenary pool is the same for these provinces of Tingi or Mauritania and Dimidi Sahara. So you need to wait at least some turns to get the troop production going, and that adds some difficulty to the gameplay, especially since, as you can see from the building roster, Berbers are not really that good in battle. They don't get any good units, they don't get good defenses, so tier 3 walls and any unit production facilities are the maximum amount. Of course, the cities can go up to tier 5, but the only things you can build there are Christian Basilica and Merchant's Quarter, so not so beneficial. What I think is the best strategy for these guys is to utilize speed to maximum advantage. So basically you need to begin training troops as soon as possible. You need to recruit mercenaries, especially since Berber units are weak but also cheap. So if you need to have some real punching power, you need to have mercenaries. You might want to check out my unit tier list for the Berber roster in another video at some point. It will complement this one rather nicely. But in any case, you need to muster every troop you can and then start advancing. And I would recommend having a rather fast army moving towards Carthage and then pushing eastwards, because if you start to dally in the campaign, if you are not hasty, then it might be that Eastern Rome or Western Rome manages to bring some good army south here, for example Comitatenses, Plumbatari and so on. And if you don't have good enough mercenaries, your troops most likely will lose in one-on-one, for example against Comitatenses. So Berbers are not equipped to beat a good army in one-on-one. So that kind of is the limiting factor for your strategy. Luckily, the Western Roman Empire, as you can see, have very limited garrisons here. Perhaps the only exception being Carthago Nova. Here as well in Carthage, Caralis, Lepsismanga, even Syracuse and Tarentum, all of these have rather minor garrisons. So if you move fast enough, they cannot reinforce these garrisons well enough, as they most likely have some troubles here in the Northern Europe as well. So moving hastily against the Western Roman Empire is beneficial. And of course, Eastern Roman Empire is a bit more powerful faction in the game because its starting position is a bit better. So it most likely will wage war against the Sassanids at the beginning. So Sassanids will tie most of Eastern Roman Empire's armies here. But if Eastern Rome manages to drive Sassanids off or wipe them out, then it's very likely that you will face a strong army near Alexandria. So haste is really important for your success in the campaign here. About religion, the things are rather simple because Berbers can only be Christian, so that's pretty much it. And I think, at least in my gameplay, what worked for me was that after I captured Carthage, I had a cavalry army moving towards Alexandria and capturing these cities on the go, and then infantry units supplemented by cavalry units operated from Carthage and a bit later from Tingi as well, so I could get those required 10 provinces. It's nice that the Roman Empire or Western Roman Empire kind of acts as a buffer against barbarians. So you don't need to most likely fight any hordes, and as it's likely that they are going to be at war at least at some point against either of the Roman empires, you can most likely get trade agreements, you can get map information or trade map information and so on. So the diplomatic position is rather okay, except that you will end up being at war with both sides of the Roman Empire. And that's one additional thing that puts you on timer, because if they manage to gather their strength and throw it at you, the Berbers will be really in trouble. So, to make it short, focus on military, focus on haste, focus on the objectives and achieve them as fast as possible. So, these are my thoughts about how to play Berbers. What do you think? Please feel free to share your ideas in the comment fields below. If you liked the video, leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Have a great rest of the day. Quality Old Games out.